Namaste to everyone. In this class, we are going to discuss Sanatana Dharma to what extent exists among the insects. It is an interesting subject matter. I myself also felt how I can able to prepare for this lesson. I am not an expert in philosophy, but I am an anthropologist. To some extent, I can able to read the minds of the people. Is an Manavijnana Shastraveta I am. That means I can study the man in time and space, from the origin of the man, from the present up to present day. With that exposure, with that experience of philosophy, economics, political science, sociology, and anthropology, I have a wild experience with the different people all over the world. So, with that experience, I have thought, I have applied my mind to look into the aspects of Sanatana Dharma, to what extent it exists among the insects. That is the first lesson which I have taken in the series of evolution of Sanatana Dharma. Okay? With this background, let us go into the subject matter. Sanatana Dharma, often referred as a complex and diverse religious and philosophical system that encompass a wide range of beliefs, practices, and values. As we have discussed in the previous two classes, Sanatana Dharma is a complex and diverse and a philosophical system. It exists in almost all the religions which you have discussed in the previous class. While it primarily pertains to human ethics and morality, generally, this Sanatana Dharma mainly exists and practices by human populations. That is what we are thinking. While it primarily pertains to human ethics and morality, some of the people may argue that Sanatana Dharma does not directly apply to insects or other human creatures. So definitely people may be arguing on this issue, may criticize me that how it can be applicable, that is Sanatana Dharma, to insects and birds. I welcome for that argument and also the criticism, and we need a debate on this issue. The Sanatana Dharma emphasizes duties, that is dharma, righteousness, honesty, and other moral principles as they apply to human life and society. Let us see here. The Sanatana Dharma emphasizes duties, that is dharma, righteousness, honesty, and other moral principles as they apply to human life and society, whereas these characteristics is existing among the insects and birds. First, let us take into the insects. Whether dharma exists, righteousness exists, honesty is there, and moral principles is there among the insects. Yes, let us see. Insects, being a part of the animal kingdom, do not possess the same level of consciousness, self awareness, or moral agency as humans having. They primarily operate on instinct, responding to environmental and cues and biological imperatives. Insects do not have the capacity for moral reasoning or ability to contemplate ethical principles as humans do. But They have their own dharma for existing in the nature. So, here the insects are having their own dharma for their existing in the nature. Have you understand that they have the morals, reasoning the ability, and contemplating ethical principles within that insect society. Their behavior, their dharma, their contribution is existing like human beings to some extent, not to the full extent, but they have the dharma. Sanatana Dharma exists among the insects. Let us see to what extent it exists, how human societies has accepted their Sanatana Dharma in various cultures. By looking into the Sanatana Dharma of the insects, the people all over the world started worshipping the different type of insects, different cultures. Insect worship rooted in symbolism, mythology, ecological significance, and societal needs provides a unique lens through which we can understand the diverse cultural and belief system that have shaped human history. These small creatures, often overlooked to our daily lives, have inspired profound reverence and intricate rituals across the globe. Insect worship serves as a reminder of the deep connections between humanity and the natural world, highlighting our dependence and admiration for the creatures that share our planet. As we continue to explore the wonders of the insect world, we gain insight not only to the fascinating biology but also into the rich tapestry of human culture and spirituality. Beyond their ecological significance, certain insects have found a unique place in human cultures, being revered and even worshipped by various reasons. As an anthropologist, in my in depth research analysis, I find that ant worship exists from the ancient period, that is, from ancient Greece, that ants held a unique place in mythology. They are associated with the goddess Demeter, the deity of agriculture and harvest. The ancient Greek poet Hesiod mentioned ants in his work, describing them as a hard-working creatures. In ancient Greece, ants indeed held a unique place in mythology and were often associated with the goddess Demeter, who was revered as the deity of agriculture, harvest, and fertility. The connection between ants and Demeter god can be explained through various myths and cultural beliefs prevalent in ancient Greek society. Demeter, the ancient Greek goddess of agriculture, harvest, and fertility, held a significant place in Greek mythology and religious beliefs. The worship of Demeter dates back to the earliest period of ancient Greece, and her cult was one of the most widespread and enduring in the ancient world. Demeter worship can be traced to the prehistoric era long before the development of the written records. In the Macedonian period, around 1600 to 1100 BCE, Demeter was already revered as a major deity associated with the earth and its bounty. However, her worship became more organized and prominent during the classical period, that is 5th and 4th century BCE. When the Eleusinian Mysteries, a religious cult dedicated to Demeter and her daughter Persephone, gained immense popularity, you may be surprised why the ants are worshipped by the ancient Greeks because of its industrious nature. They admire for their hard-working and industrious nature. They demonstrated unity teamwork, and perseverance in their collective efforts to build and maintain their colonies. These qualities were highly valued in the ancient Greek society, especially in the context of agriculture, where hard work and cooperation were essential for successful harvest. So, the sincerity and industrious work of ants were considered as a model for the Greek people. This is the unity and integrity of the ants. The importance of collective effort and hard work in agriculture symbolizes the Sanatana Dharma the ants are following. Another important Sanatana Dharma followed by ants are they are well known to store the grains in their underground chambers, a behavior observed by ancient farmers of Greeks. This behavior mirrored the human practice of storing surplus grains for the winter months. The sight of ants diligently stored food resonated with the agricultural practice of the ancient Greeks, reinforcing their connection with the Demeter god, the goddess of the harvest. Ants Sanatana Dharma symbolizes the art and literature in ancient Greek culture. Ants were occasionally depicted along with the Demeter goddess, and along with Demeter, the ants also worshipped, emphasizing their association with agriculture and fertility. Artists and writers used these symbols to convey themes of hard work, cooperation, and the abundance of the harvest season. The worship of Demeter, along with the ants, persisted for centuries, even after the decline of the ancient Greek civilization. The Eleusinian mysteries continued to be practiced until the 4th century CE. The downfall has started when the Christian Roman Emperor Theodosius I decreased the closure of the pagan temples, including the sanctuary of Eleusis, in an effort to promote Christianity. That is how the Christianity played an important role to destroy the ancient culture of worshipping Demeter and ants in ancient Greek culture. Now, based on the insects dharma, that is contribution to the nature, indirectly to the human populations, some of the insects are worshipped by the human beings in various cultures. So, the insects dharma is to share the planet, and the further existence of the nature. The balancing the nature itself is a characteristics of the insects. Many of the insects existing in the earth have their own Sanatana Dharma in a different way of contributing the nature, in balancing the nature for existence. And human beings also directly or indirectly helped in different ways. That is the Sanatana Dharma and the contribution by the insect. However, certain behaviors, or you can say certain dharmas exhibited by insects, can be loosely compared to some human ethical principles, which I have observed among the ants. Now I am taking the smallest insect is the ant. I wanted to look into the aspects of Sanatana Dharma in the ants. Let us too go in depth into the analysis of Sanatana Dharma among the ants. Ants are social insects that exhibit complex behavior or complex Sanatana Dharma and follow specific dharmas within their colonies, which are essential for their survival. These dharmas are not dictated by a formal set of rules but have evolved over millions of years based on the natural selection and adaptation. Here are some of the ways in which ants follow their own dharma for their surviving. In ant colonies, the queen is the central reproductive female, and her primary role to lay eggs, ensuring the survival and growth of the colony of worker ants, which are sterile females, serve the queens in various essential ways. So, Sanatana Dharma exists among the insects. How the work is divided among themselves, among the ants, the queen, the worker, and different way of performing their dharmas. Now let us look into the feeding, how they feed, what is the dharma of feeding. Worker ants feed the queen. They collect from the environment such as the nectars, insects, and other organic matter and bring it back to the nest. Some ant species have specialized workers whose primary task is to feed the queen. That is, feeding is the one of the dharma of worker ants. Then grooming. Ants groom the queen to keep her clean and healthy. Grooms is crucial for removing dirt, parasites, and pathogens that might harm the queen. So, grooming plays an important role. Then, third one is nursing. Worker ants take care of the queen's eggs, larvae, and pupa. They maintain the brood chamber, ensuring the eggs are in right condition for development. They also feed and clean the developing ants. So, worker ants works as a nursing for the reproduction of the ants. Then fourth one is protection. Worker ants protects the queen and the rest of the colony. They defend the nest from predators and other threats. Some ant species have specialized soldiers ants with large mandibles and stringers that are specifically tasked for defense. So we have the soldier ants which protects the queen and the offsprings. Then fifth one is maintaining the nest is one of the dharma. Some of the worker ants are responsible for expanding and maintaining the nest structure. They build and repair tunnels, chambers, and galleries, creating a safe environment for the queen and the rest of the colony. That is the dharma of worker ants in maintaining the nest. The next one is foraging. Worker ants venture out of the nest to find food sources. They collect the food, bring back food to nourish the queen and the developing brood. These foraging activities are essential for the colony's survival. So it is the dharma in foraging for the some of the ants. Then seventh one is reproduction. In some ant species, workers can lay unfertilized eggs, which develop into a male ants, that is, drones. While this does not directly serve the queens, it contributes to the colony's reproductive strategy by producing potential mates for future queens from the same colony. So it is the dharma of some of the ant species work and lay unfertilized eggs for the multiplication of the colonies. So reproduction is one of the dharma for the ant species also. So like this, ants also having their own dharmas. So they have to perform their own dharma knowingly or unknowingly what they are doing. But finally, it reflects it is a Sanatana Dharma. As we are understanding, I feel myself, it is the Dharma exists in the ants. The division of labor and reproduction and food security and protection of the ants, all these plays, it is the dharma of different species performing a Sanatana Dharma. Thank you for watching. I request you to forward to the link to your friends and subscribe this channel for getting the information on the living cultures of India.